2, 1. A few years ago, Hyundai released the Prophecy concept. Fast forward to 2023, I have that result, the 2023 Ioniq 6. Hey guys, welcome to Chris Mack. In this video, I'm going to show you around this Ioniq 6, take it on a drive, give you guys my final verdict. Let's go ahead and get into this video, shall we? Let's go. You know what? Let's do remote start this time. It's already on because it's electric. Let's go. Let's get into this video. Looking on the outside of the 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6, this is your key fob right here. You do have lock, unlock, as well as a remote start function, panic button, and your trunk release is right here on the side of the key fob. I do like this kind of sci-fi-esque design, and it is very different from the Ioniq 5. And definitely make this a little bit more unique. But I'm looking at the outside of this Ioniq 6. This is a SEL mid-trim with the long-range all-wheel drive system. As equipped, this is $53,000 MSRP. It is dressed in this Onyx Black with a gray interior. Let's go ahead and speak a little bit about the design. So up front, you do have full LED lighting. You can see the yellow portion at the bottom is for your turn signals, and that's also your daytime running lights as well. You have LED low as well as high beams right there. Active grille shutters are down below to help with aerodynamics. The drag coefficient of this Ioniq 6 is 0.22. making this one of the most slippery and aerodynamic vehicles in production to date. Looking at the wheels, these are 20-inch wheels wrapped with 245 with all-season tires, both front as well as rear. This is based on the Prophecy concept that was released a few years prior. And overall, I would say majority of the styling has carried over, but they can probably work on the front end just a bit. But I will reserve judgment for the full Ioniq 6N when that does come out. There are flush door handles with a keyless entry for the front. Mirror controls are right here, and I do like how you do have the pattern right there when you do put on the signal. You do have like the kind of cube shapes that sweep across, which is very cool. One shocking factor is that it doesn't have a moonroof, but I'm assuming that the limited trim will have that. When we do get one in at a later date, I will check that out. This is your window sticker right here. Feel free to pause the video for all various different options. I will also put all the options in the description below. Coming around to the rear of the Ioniq 6, I have to say this is probably my favorite design element of this Ioniq 6, the back end design. This definitely did carry over from the Prophecy concept. The way it just sleeks down. Let me get a 3/4 view for you guys right there. Looks so good. Got your reverse lights at the bottom. Full LED brake lights with the little pixel design right there. Turn signals are on that side. And I do also love this wing right here with the third brake light. This looks so cool. Really does remind me a little bit of a Porsche Taycan. I'm getting the same vibes, but let me show you guys the trunk space. It is powered, of course, but you do have 11.2 cubic feet of space. You can fold down the seats in a 60/40 fashion right there with the releases up top. You do have a tire mobility kit, first aid kit. This does also have a cargo net. Some more storage down there with a charging cord. You can close the tailgate as well as lock the doors. The charging port is on the passenger side. It is motorized, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about specs of this Ioniq 6. So it has a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery, produces the same 320 horsepower and 446 pound-foot of torque from the Ioniq 5. You get 270 miles of electric range. If you use a DC fast charger, it will charge from 0 to 80% in as little as 18 minutes. If you use a standard 120 volt, it will charge from 0 to 100% in just under 7 hours or 6 hours and 55 minutes. Vehicle weight is 4,500 pounds as this one is equipped. You can also get a rear-wheel drive version, a SC trim that is rated for 361 miles of all-electric range. But that one is only rear-wheel drive, so it has only about 225 horsepower. But that range is very impressive for the price point of this vehicle. Base price is about $45,000. Show you guys the front. We have half a cubic foot of space up front, and you basically have like your electronic stuff for the front motor up front and wash fluid and so on. Let me show you guys the interior of the Ioniq 6. first thing you do notice is that it does have plenty of legroom. Like stepping behind myself, I have the seat adjusted for 5'6". I literally have about 6-7 inches of legroom. As far as headroom goes, I have about 8 inches because it does have a sloping roof. But a couple of minis back here. You do have some storage compartments back there with 2 USB-C ports. Little storage compartment down below. You do have 2 cup holders right here in the center console with LED illumination up top, and your window controls right there. It's kind of more like a vegan interior, so everything is very economical or eco-friendly. My bad. Yeah. But let me go ahead and show you guys the cockpit of the Ioniq 6. Now, in most cars you'll be shocked because there is no window controls right here on this side, or even mirror controls, but they're all inside of the center. But looking at seat controls over here on this side, you do have 2-way lumbar support, power back, as well as bottom support. Your parking brake is on this side with your mirror controls, traction, charging port right there. You do also have trunk release and cluster illumination on this side with a manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel. The front release is right there. Go ahead and roll up the window for you guys. What shockingly is in the center console right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. So you do have your lock and unlock buttons right there, and you can close the windows. And you also have auto hold function over here on this side with the child locks. But looking at the interior of the Ioniq 6, you are first greeted by these dual 12.3-inch displays. Now looking over here in front of you in the steering wheel, you do have your light controls as well as wiper controls on this dock. And you do have this 2-spoke steering wheel right here with your driver assistance on this side, and you can configure the cluster in front of you. So you do have your, we'll show you where your power is being distributed, your lane keep information, and you can have all your various different miles and kilowatt per miles and all that right there. Before, when I left the dealership, it was just over 300 miles of all electric range, so it is pretty efficient and is definitely beating the 270 miles of all electric range that it is claiming. The paddle shifters are used for the regen function right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that's full I-pedal max, and you use the other paddle shifter to reduce the regen function. Over here on this side of the steering wheel, you do have your voice command functions and your drive modes at the bottom of the steering wheel. So hitting the drive mode button, you do have eco, normal, sport, and if you hold down the drive mode, it will go to a configurable drive mode. I'd also like too, when you do change the drive modes, if you look at the steering wheel right here, it'll change, like the colors are right here in the center of the steering wheel where you do have the 4 dots. So you got eco, it'll go blue for white, and it'll change red for sport, which is so cool. It's the little details. But I'm looking at the infotainment. This is also a 12.3-inch display, so you do have your various different functions. You have your EV mode right there, will show you your range and the I can't think of the where you can go to the nearest charging area. You have your maps, your navigation right there. We'll try a navigation test. Very responsive and quick to your inputs. You see right there, navigation is very easy to use and it's quick and responsive. Going back to your home displays, you have your phone functions, and you also have Apple CarPlay, so we'll try a quick audio test. Now keep in mind, this does have the 6-speaker sound system. If you do go for the limited trim, you will get a Bose sound system, so I will reserve judgment or full judgment until we do that in the limited trim, but I will try the audio test real quick.
Let's go. Yeah. I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work.
As you can see, the 6-speaker sound system is okay, but I am excited to see the Bose sound system in limited trim. We will try that out at a later date. Voice memo functions right there. They have your climate controls, which you can pull up in the screen, as well as down below, which I will show you guys in a second. Warmer control right there for your heated front seats. You will get cooled seats and a heated steering when we go for the limited trim. Valet mode, a quiet mode. If you have kids in the back, it'll basically put the sound in the front cabinet, so if they're sleeping, there's no sound back there to wake them up. You have HD radio right there, or data right there for your traffic as well as weather. Under your vehicle settings, which is probably one of the most important features of this Ioniq 6, you do have plenty of different customizations which you can do in the screen. So you have your driver assistance technology. This does have highway driver assist 2, which we will try on the road. A custom drive mode right there, which you can configure. So you can configure between snow And you can go into my drive mode, which is basically a custom mode, so you can configure the power output, the acceleration sensitivity, steering, as well as the drive line between two-wheel drive, or you can go all-wheel drive. You can also configure the brakes between normal and sport to have just a little bit more bite, and it'll also change the drive change alert and the screen right here. Cluster changes right here for the illumination. You can change the various different themes, climate controls, lighting function right there. You do have 64 color ambient lighting. I don't know if you guys can see it because it is kind of sunny out, but got a little bit of purple right there. Let me see if I can change that for you guys to let's try yellow. Shockingly, you guys can see it. Red, and then back to purple. You can also configure a custom color right there between all these various different colors. You can also link it to your drive mode, dim it when it's dark, and you can sync it light with the speed. So basically, like if you floor it and it's red, it'll be like it'll flash at you. And you can also do it with your voice recognition. So when you do speak to the vehicle and interact with it and use the voice command function, it'll kind of like show you that it's listening to you, which is kind of cool. Door functions right there. You do have the smart chart function, so you stand behind the vehicle for 3 seconds and it'll open up automatically. Your digital key, which you use your phone for. Then you have your convenience features for the rear occupant alert, as well as the wireless phone charger down below. There's your EV settings right there. You can configure the maximum percentage that you want the vehicle to charge and stay at. So you can, if you want to configure, let's say 80%, you want to stop there to conserve the battery over a period of the lifetime of the vehicle, you can do that. You also have utility mode, regen functions, and so on. Looking down below, you do have voice recognition, your screen layout, so you can configure between this white display or you can have this black display. There we go. So you have this black display, which is pretty cool, but honestly, you can't really see nothing in the daytime, but definitely is better at night. You can change your various different themes. We do change the drive mode, so let me show you guys one more time. Eco, normal, and sport. You'll see the cluster is changing. Its various different themes, split screen functions, and so on. You can also configure a button right there. So this is your preset favorite button. You can't configure that. You also have built-in Wi-Fi and general settings for the screen. Now looking down below, you do have some shortcut preset buttons, your volume knob, map, and navigation with media functions if you do have your CarPlay or Android Auto connected, and Liz wires. So you do have to plug in this USB port down below. The preset favorite button, which I talked about a second ago, tuning knob, and you do have a shortcut backup camera button right there. It does have trajectory lines, parking sensors both front and rear. You can turn the parking sensors off right there with that button. And down below, you do have a dual zone climate control. You can configure everything for both sides. And you do have a seat control right there. So basically pull up your heated and cool seats if you have the limited trim, or as this one's equipped, just the heated seats. You have a shortcut button for that. Push button start is right here. This is your gear shifter. This is how you control the Ioniq 6. So you push up for a drive, all the way back for reverse. So you have the backup camera, and then you push the end of the stock for park. Down here, you do have a wireless charging pad and a USB port right there to connect to the infotainment, with two cup holders which are pretty good size. I do like the pixel design that they do have inside of the interior as well as on the exterior. So all this is pixeled right here as where the cup holders are. And I'll show you guys this in the beginning of this walk around, where you do have your various different controls for the auto hold function, window controls, child lock, and so on. A little bit more storage right there, as well as right here. Up top, you do have LED illumination, your blue link controls right there, as well as SOS button. Now I will reserve judgment for when the limited trim does get released, but shockingly, there's no sunroof, which, I mean, at this price point, I'm a little bummed out, but maybe they'll offer that at a later date. But let's go and take the Ioniq 6 for a drive and see how she does. We are behind the wheel of the 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6. I, for one, am excited. We'll start out in eco mode. Speaking of visibility out the front, rear, and sides, I have to say it is great out the front as well as out the sides. And surprisingly, even out the back, it is a little obstructed with the seat pillar because of the sloping rear design. But other than that, it's great. Now I want to speak a little bit more about the design of this Ioniq 6. And of course, they did base this off of the Prophecy concept that did debut a few years ago. And of course, the back end design is basically carryover, but the front end design is honestly not bad. But personally, I don't think it's like great, like Prophecy concept great. But I am excited for the Ioniq 6N to come out, as they have been doing concepts of that. I saw that with the blue, performance blue with the red, and as a owner, I'm definitely excited for that to come out. After I recently just got out of the Kia EV6 GT. That car was just so sporty, the way it handled, and backing just kicked out. But let's talk a little bit more about this Ioniq 6 before I get too distracted. First thing you do notice is that the vehicle is very smooth, quiet, and refined despite having 20-inch wheels. Now, speaking a little bit more about range, this does have an estimated range of 270 miles. Now, I did leave the dealership about maybe, say, 12, 13 miles ago with 308 miles of electric range, which is definitely better than what the EPA suggested with this 270, and is very conservative. Which, honestly, I'm not surprised, because the Ioniq 5, which is rated at about 256, got 300 miles of range when I was doing the PDI once on one of those. If you do go for the base model SEL long range rear-wheel drive version, that does 361 miles of range. You really want to eke out the full miles, and that one's about $45,000. One of the styling elements that I don't like is with the windows. I do wish this kind of like had the frameless design. It's like kind of thick bezel when you look on the outside of it. That is probably one of the, that's probably not a good styling element, let me put it that way. I don't want to be too critical, but yeah. You also have your region functions with the paddle shifters back here. Hit the minus paddle. If you use a gas car, that's basically for your iPedal Max, and you can configure everything on that side. What I find also cool with this Ioniq 6 is that if you look at the steering wheel and you change the drive modes, it'll change to a blue right here, and if you go into sport, it'll flash red, which is so cool. But I do have to try an acceleration, so I will turn off traction. We're in sport mode. Now 0 to 60 is about 4.5 seconds, but let's try that now. This thing is so quick. Just the way it just leaps off the line. Wow. That electric power is instantaneous. Now, under drive modes, you can configure a custom drive mode. So you can have it either in snow, or you can configure it in all your various different settings that you can please. But you can change all that. So I could put like two-wheel drive mode. And if I hold that down, it'll go into rear-wheel drive mode using the back motors only. We're at level 2 regen, and it's phenomenal. Now, speaking more about the regen braking, there you go, back to sport. Here we go, regen 3. It's not jarring, it's phenomenal. It like, has the perfect amount of regen. Handling is okay, but I will reserve judgment for when the Ioniq 6N comes out, where that's more tailored for like back road handling and stuff. But I mean, this ain't bad. Whew. That electric power just pulls you around. That's 320 horsepower with 446 pound-foot. Woo! And it's all instantaneous. We have a tunnel coming up. Should I do a tunnel run? I'm just kidding now. I had to make some noise to make up for the lack of sound in this, but surprisingly, it's very well damped over bumps and harsh imperfections in the road. We have 270 miles of range left, so that is the EP suggested. But you see right there, you put in eco mode, it'll change accordingly. Let's go back into sport for a minute. He's enjoying himself in that Z4. I have to say though, for 4,500 pounds, this thing really does just push. It really does. As for seat comfort goes, seat comfort is pretty good. You do also have heated seats, adding a little bit more amenities. But if you do get the limited trim, you will get a little bit more with cool seat functions, heated steering wheel, and so on. One thing I also do like too about this Ioniq 6 is the lighting, the ambient lighting with the multicolors. You see right there, you got the yellow strip going around, and also on these side doors, and even in the back seats. The biggest thing you definitely do have to get used to with this Ioniq 6 is probably the window controls right here in the center console. This is the first car I've ever seen this with in person, like with window controls right here. This regen is perfect. Level 3 and level 2 are like the perfect amount of regen that you'll need. That electric power just gets you out the hole. This is a slight decline once you get to about highway speeds, but it's very quiet and smooth on the highway. But as we cruise behind this Volkswagen, let's get a little closer so we can put on the adaptive cruise control. You have 4 following distances right here. You can change the speed and the following distance all the way down to 1. Now this does have the highway driver assist too, so it does have the full lane keeping assist. You can see everything right here at the top of your screen. Those are like the power meter right here, so it'll show you whether the power is using the rear motor or the front motor or both in tandem. But you can see right here the adaptive cruise works very well. Lane keep keeps you in your lane. Very solid. And also too, what I do like about this lane keeping assist, unlike other Hyundai models where it has that ping pong effect where it's like back to forth, back to forth, this keeps you solid, dead straight in the lane. This adaptive cruise control using the camera up top is phenomenal. This is what I call good driver assistance technology and a hands-free driving experience. I'm really amazed at how quiet this cabin is at highway speeds. We're doing about 70 miles an hour. Minimal wind noise. And it doesn't ride bad either. Now if you do go for like a lower trim, you'll get 18-inch wheels, which will actually improve the ride even more. You got more sidewall. But yeah. And you also got blind spot information right there to let you know if vehicles in blind spot. And most of these driver systems does come standard. as we get a little bit closer to the dealership, let's go ahead and get into the conclusion of what I think about this Ioniq 6. Hold on, wait. Whoa. Let's do one more quick pull. Alright, we're in. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's go back in the eco so I can talk about this vehicle a little bit more. But so yeah, as we get a little bit closer to the dealership, let me go ahead and get to the conclusion of what I think about this Ioniq 6. The region is phenomenal. Level 3 brings you right down. 2 to 3 is perfect. But overall, the Ioniq 6, as this one is equipped, is $53,000, a SEL mid-trim level with all-wheel drive with the dual motor setup. One thing that is missing though is a sunroof up top, especially at $53,000 as this one is. Like, come on guys, I need a sunroof. But keep in mind that we'll add weight that'll raise the center of gravity. It does like a whole lot to the driving dynamics of this vehicle. But that's one feature I do wish I did have. The backup camera is okay. It does have pretty good graphics with trajectory lines. Do like the gear shifter thing right here. And the key fob is very unique. Like I said in my walk around, it's like sci-fi-esque where you got lock and all this stuff right here. It's very cool. Very different from the Ioniq 5. Do like the ambient lighting. The lighting is very nice. Styling though, I'm a little iffy on styling right now, so I think it's okay looking, but if they add a little bit more of the privacy concept into the design on the outside, it would really like elevate this vehicle. But keep in mind you do have pedestrian regulations and so on. Also too, the camera mirrors that they do get in South Korea, come on America, get with the times, because you know right here there's little bezels for the camera mirrors when you do go overseas to these other markets. But yeah, also too, one thing missing I feel like for this price point is a heated steering wheel. But other than that, the infotainment is phenomenal. The ambient lighting, the what you get, the driver assistance technology, the tech, everything is great. And of course, who could forget the range? So this does compete with the Tesla Model 3, and with the range and everything being very conservative, it does a phenomenal job of that. And I do also like that instead of relying on this one big iPad in the middle of the screen right here, you have dual displays, so it really gives you that conventional kind of vehicle design. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video here. This is Chris signing out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. I'm not gonna leave you on the cliffhanger. One more acceleration. Ah! All right, but yeah. So this is gonna officially close the video. Peace.